The Supreme Court just made a shocking ruling. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Unwoke Thoughts. We are talking about this insane ruling that was just pushed through by the Supreme Court. And I am sad to say, ACB, Amy Coney Barrett, is the one who made the final decision. It was a split decision between, let me show you here. Let me show you, it's the sad truth. Amy Coney Barrett sided with Justices Ketanji Brown Jackson, Elena Kagan, and Sonia Sotomayor to keep the stream of illegals pouring across our southern border. Yes, that's right. Amy Coney Barrett, the Supreme Court justice that was appointed by Donald Trump, is siding with all of these liberals on the idea that illegals should just keep coming over our borders. What is this actually about? Well, what happened was Texas decided to enforce their own borders because the Biden administration and the Department of Justice were cutting out razor wire and removing blockades that prevented illegal immigrants from coming across the border. So the Biden administration sued the state of Texas saying, hey, you can't use your own people to secure the border. That's our job. That's the job of the Department of Justice. That's a federal government job. You can't do this. You can't just protect your own border. Even if we don't protect it ourselves, you can't protect it. Even if we remove blockades, you can't protect it or tell us we can't protect it for you. Even if we are just standing there letting illegals just pour across the border. So it was submitted to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court took a look at it, and Amy Coney Barrett said, looks okay. Looks okay to me. I'm going to side with these three other far leftist Supreme Court justices. She's supposed to be a conservative. What is going on here? Amy Coney Barrett. This is shameful of her. This illegal immigration crisis is one of the most important things going on in our country right now. Hundreds of thousands a week of illegal immigrants a week are coming into the country. And she votes to keep this invasion alive. I'm sorry, but Amy Coney Barrett she's a rhino. I'm sorry to say. She's kind of been back in the shadows a little bit lately. She hasn't made any huge moves, but this is one that really gets me off her side. I mean, she's in there now for probably life, so I don't think we can do anything about it. So it's unfortunate that she is voting the way she is voting. But we have this Fox News article that says it all. Supreme Court sides with Biden in Texas border razor wire case. Border Patrol Union blasts decision. The concertina wire, that's the razor wire, that was installed as part of Texas Governor Greg Abbott's broader fight with the administration over immigration enforcement. The U.S. Supreme Court on Monday sided with the Biden administration in a case involving a razor wire fence along Texas' border with Mexico. The court's decision allows Border Patrol agents to cut concertina wire that Texas had installed along the border near Eagle Pass, Texas, while litigation continues. I mean, you got to ask yourself, why is the Supreme Court allowing the Biden administration to cut this razor wire? It's Texas. It's the border, the U.S. border. The Border Patrol is not doing anything. The Department of Justice is not doing anything. They aren't doing their jobs. So Texas National Guard stepped in to do the job, to protect their border, because every single attempt to protect the border with blockades was being surpassed and hindered by the Biden administration, cutting the wires, removing buoys, and, among other things. So you got to ask yourself, why is the Supreme Court doing this? What is their decision? Why are they, under what justifications are they making this decision? But the roughly 30 miles of wire had been installed as part of Texas Governor Greg Abbott's broader fight with the administration over immigration enforcement and attempts to stem the historic flow of migrants across the border since Biden term began. Since Biden terms began, there has been over 12 million, yes, 12 million illegal immigrants that have come across the border. And here is the Razor concertina wire. In court papers, the Biden administration argued that the wire impedes Border Patrol agents from reaching migrants as they cross the river, and that in any case, federal immigration laws trumps Texas' own efforts to stem the flow of migrants into the country. Interesting. That's crazy. Texas can't even protect its own border. Because in a 5-4 vote Monday, the justices granted an emergency appeal from the Biden administration, which has been in an escalating standoff at the border with Texas and had objected to an appellate ruling in favor of the state. The deciding vote was cast by Justice Roberts, while Justice Thomas, Alito, and Gorsuch and Kavanaugh were in the dissent. Justice Amy Coney Barrett, a Trump appointee, also sided with the majority. Yes, Amy Coney Barrett, a Trump appointee, sided with these liberals, with these liberal justices. No justice provided an explanation for their vote. So, very interesting. None of these justices gave any explanation. They just said, hey, I bang the gavel. I make my decision. I hereby decree that the United States of America is going to continue seeing this mass invasion of illegal immigrants. And here, as you see right here, this is a picture of the buoys that were installed in the river to prevent people from swimming over. And these two were removed by the Biden administration. It says right here, a migrant from Colombia stands at a floating buoy barrier as he looks to cross the Rio Grande from Mexico into the U.S. On Monday, in Eagle Pass, Texas, Texas must move a floating barrier on the Rio Grande that drew backlash from Mexico. A federal appeals court ruled on Friday in December, dealing a blow to one of Republican Greg Abbott's aggressive measures aimed at stopping migrants from entering the U.S. illegally. So if you're not able to put barriers up, if you're not able to use personnel, if you're not able to build a wall, if you're not able to send the migrants back across the border, what are you able to do to stop this flow of illegal immigrants? I think it's getting kind of ridiculous after some point. It's been ridiculous for a while. But if even the federal government is fighting against you, at what point do you say, listen, screw the federal government? This is my border. At what point do you stand up on principle and you say, I'm not letting Biden get away with this. I'm not letting Mexico tell me that I can't put a buoy up to prevent people from your country coming over the border into my country, my state. That's what Greg Abbott needs to do. He needs to ignore this order by the Supreme Court because I think it is an illegal order. I believe that what they are saying here doesn't make any sense. And it just goes to show, like, none of the justices even gave a justification for their decision. They just said, this is the way it's going to be. And let me show you. Let me show you what this decision looks like. This is the decision. This is all that came out of this of the Supreme Court regarding this case. Monday, January the 22nd, 2024. Order in pending case, Department of Homeland Security et al. V. Texas. The application to vacate injunction presented to Justice Alito and by him referred to the court is granted. The December 19, 2023 order of the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit case number 23-50869 is vacated. Justice Thomas, Justice Alito, Justice Gorsuch, Justice Kavanaugh would deny the application to vacate injunction. So there is no justification, just this response right here. Interesting stuff indeed. But most of the razor wire is deployed in the Shelby Park area of Eagle Pass. It is owned by the city, but was recently seized by the state of Texas. Federal Border Patrol agents have been blocked from the park since then, a move the Border Patrol Union publicly supports. Brandon Judd, president of the National Border Park Patrol Council, said the ruling would undoubtedly encourage more illegal immigration. Unfortunately, this means Border Patrol agents are going to be tied up dealing with give-ups rather than going after the criminal elements that constantly cross our borders illegally, Judd said in a statement to Fox News. Quote, the administration no doubt will say this is a win for border security. But if they saw rank and file input, they would be told this will do the exact opposite. Agents support what Texas was trying to accomplish in the absence of true border security policies from this administration. The litigation is one of several legal challenges in federal court by the Biden administration over Texas border enforcement policies, including floating barriers in the Rio Grande, as well as trespassing arrests and incarceration of illegal immigrants by the state. Those cases have yet to reach the Supreme Court. So yeah, guys, this is very interesting, this decision by the Supreme Court. I don't like this at all. And I am very shocked and surprised and saddened that Amy Coney Barrett has sided with these leftist judges in allowing this mass invasion to continue. I think when you look at Greg Abbott's actions in Texas, I think it's very honorable by clashing with the Biden Department of Justice, using his National Guard to say, listen, we're not going to just let this invasion continue. And then it escalated all the way to the Supreme Court because the Biden administration was just so mad that they couldn't cut out the razor wire on the border that they decided to get mommy and daddy, the Supreme Court, involved to tell Texas, hey, Texas, the border is the responsibility of the federal government. But the whole problem is the federal government is not doing the job of securing the border. They're not doing the job. They're actually doing the opposite of the job. They're allowing and aiding and abetting hundreds of thousands, millions of illegal immigrants and coming over the border. But what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think of Amy Coney Barrett stabbing everyone in the back and allowing this invasion to continue? Do you think it's right? Do you think the Biden administration should have control over the border even if they're not doing anything to stem the flow of illegal immigrants? Let me know down below in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.